We're live.
Good morning. I can't even talk this morning, Pat. It's Monday. I'm having one of those Mondays today. I will say good morning to everybody in the chat room and everybody that watches us on Memorex later on. But today's the 27th day of June. It's the last Monday of the month. And I don't know how it is where everybody else is, but here in Indiana this morning, it is a little bit over 80 degrees and it's about 65% humidity. And it is sultry, very, very sultry. And I have just started my Monday off with a big bang. I listened to fireworks going off most of the weekend and M80s all around me like we was at war with Ohio. And I decided to get out this morning and fire up the lawnmower at the crack of before early and just wake the whole neighborhood up. They can be up in the middle of the night setting off fireworks. I can get them up at the crack of before early on a Monday to start off their week with a bang. And I made sure that I backfired that mower several times to make sure everybody was out of bed. So now that the whole neighborhood's awake and we got everybody awake in the chat room, you know, we're just off to a grand start today. And we'll welcome back Pat. I don't know if he's a co-host or a guest or what he is today. Pat, speak up. Tell
I'm awake. Oh man. Did my checkup at the doctor's. Everything looks good. They took more blood from me. A bunch of vampires. But I was good. Just dealing with fires that are around my house. Well, not on top of my house. So let me backtrack. They're around in the Black Hills here. We got a Crow's Peak fire that's been burning since Friday, and the smoke has blanketed Spearfish where I live, and we've been put on a health advisory for anybody that has breathing problems, emphysema problems, young kids, elderly. You know, they tell you to shut your air conditioners off and shut your windows up, but man, it gets hotter than hell in the house when you do that. Last night was pretty bad with smelling the smoke. Today ain't so bad. The wind has changed direction, so the smoke is blowing back towards Wyoming, which is a good thing. It's staying away from us for now, but we desperately need rain here in the Black Hills because it's a tinderbox just waiting to go up, and we need the rain, not the lightning. So everybody up in the mountains here is just on edge, just watching and paying attention to the fires and stuff. Where I live on top of the hill is one way in and one way out. So we got to pay extra attention to it. But it's about 5 miles away from us. So I'm not too concerned right now with it. It's just the smoke. But other than that, back to work, getting this channel rocking and rolling. So go ahead, Brenda. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, let's talk about what I did while you're gone. I mean, we might as well address that because everybody's waiting to see if you're going to conk me on the head or what you're going to do. But I had a couple guests on Thursday and Friday. I had Dwayne Hartman on Thursday, and I had Barry Littleton on Friday. Did you get a chance to see the shows, and what did you think?
I think he did a good job. I got to see him, and hey, you rocked it. You know, and
well, thank you very much. I mean, you know, I wasn't fishing for compliments, but you know, it's always nice to hear it. We had a great time. I mean, me and Dwayne and me and Barry, we all had a great time with what we did. I don't know. I think most of the audience enjoyed it. You know, I had a few of them tell me that it wasn't quite their cup of tea, but you know, I think they enjoyed the entertaining aspects of the whole thing. You know, watching me stumble around trying to read stuff. I told Barry, I said, Lord have mercy, you're going to have to forgive me. I went to public school. I don't know how to read. And then me trying to figure out how to get guests invited to the show was a fun experience, too. I didn't have any trouble getting Dwayne in, but my God, it took me 20 minutes to get Barry in the room. And
wow.
But I'm learning as I go. You know, I get better with every experience. It's frustrating at the time, but I get better with every experience. And you know, everybody just kind of hangs in as I stumble through whatever it is I'm doing. But
Right.
I'm glad you you enjoyed the shows that I did while you was gone, and you know, maybe we'll have some more guests on in the future, because I sure sent out some invites to people, and we'll see what they have to say as time goes on. But you know, we'll entertain folks here a little bit with some of the people we know. I mean, you can always invite people on too. We'll see what the viewers have to say about all of it.
That's
But other than that, you know, I figured, well, you know, we just probably talk about some new stuff here today a little bit. There's several articles that you and I've discussed. Did you want to talk about the deal in Idaho there with the little girl's rape before we get off into the health issues, or?
Let's concentrate on these health warnings, because I think that's very important. That needs to get out,
Okay.
especially for folks that live in California. Let me pull it back up, but you can go ahead.
Okay, well, I was going to start off. We were going to talk about the health issues about this one, and I guess this is in Washington State. The FDA warning about juice, seafood, HACCP problems, and drug residues. A juice processor in Washington State, seafood companies in New York and Hawaii, and a cattle operation in Texas recently received warnings from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration because of various food safety problems. The FDA told Valley Processing Incorporated of Sunnyside, Washington, in a June 2nd warning letter that inspectors had found serious violations of the juice hazard analysis and critical control points, HACCP, and current good manufacturing practices regulations during inspection from December 7th, 2015 through January 29th of this year. As a result, the FDA stated the company apple and pear juice, juice concentrate, and essence products are adulterated in that they have been prepared, packed, or held under unsanitary conditions whereby they may have been rendered injurious to health. Now, that's a big, long sentence for saying they packed a bunch of rotten stuff. Analysis of apple juice concentrate samples revealed inorganic arsenic levels at 88.1 nanograms per gram, or parts per billion, in single strength or ready to be consumed apple juice, according to the warning letter. FDA's action level for inorganic arsenic in single strength apple juice is 10 parts per billion. So the level found in the sample tested may render food injurious to health, FDA stated. Inorganic arsenic is toxic substance, and prolonged exposure to high levels of inorganic arsenic is associated with cancer, skin lesions, developmental effects, cardiovascular disease, neurotoxicity, and diabetes in humans, the warning said. A written response from the company on February 16th indicated that the product contaminated with inorganic arsenic was on hold at the facility and would be voluntary to the FDA. Additional problems pointed out in the warning letter concerned the food hazard of patulin, a mycotoxin found on rotten, moldy, and damaged apples. Even a small percentage of rotten, moldy, and damaged apples may contain high enough levels of patulin to result in finished product exceeding FDA's 50 parts per billion action level, the warning letter said. We are particularly concerned given that your firm only monitors the top visible layer of incoming apple bins, which is not an adequate sorting method. While the agency acknowledged that Valley Processing does not physically sort every apple, it stated that the firm's current operational procedure is not adequate to control for patulin. Your response states you purchase cull apples, which may contain decay, wormholes, and internal breakdown, and crates cull apples are acceptable to process. Any apple which is rotten, moldy, bruised, or damaged should be trimmed or culled from production, FDA said in the warning letter. The company identified metal debris as food hazard, but it was not identified in its revised HACCP plan, nor are critical control points listed to control. While the companies were to install and calibrate metal detectors at each packaging location, the FDA found that response inadequate. A food hazard that is reasonably likely to occur is one for which a prudent procedure would establish controls, because there is a reasonable possibility that, in the absence of those controls, the food hazard will occur. Your response does not identify what, if any, control measures are currently in place, absent a functioning metal detector, to prevent, eliminate, or reduce the metal hazard, the warning letter stated. Finally, FDA noted that Valley Processing holds apples outside prior to processing without atmospheric or temperature controls, and open wooden bins for 2 months or longer before processing. Your written response indicates that an acceptable industry practice to store apples intended for juice processing in the outside environment. We do not agree with your assessment and find your written response inadequate. Storage in the condition will increase the probability of pathogen production as well as the level of pathogen in the finished product, the warning letter said. Eradicate Seafood Incorporated. On June the 16th, FDA sent a warning letter to the Adriatic Seafood Incorporated of Staten Island, New York, stating the company's seafood importing facility had been inspected from April 22nd through May the 12th, 2016. That inspection revealed serious violations of the seafood HACCP regulations, according to the letter. Specifically, that the company did not implement an affirmative step for its fresh anchovies and fresh sardines as required by federal regulations. If these problems are not promptly corrected, FDA noted, the agency can refuse entry to the U.S. for these imported fish or fishery products, including placing them on detention with physical examination status, and seize the products and or otherwise stop the firm from further violation of the law. Suzanne Company Ltd. Seafood HACCP issue were also identified after FDA inspected the seafood processing facility of Suzanne Company Ltd. in Hilo, Hawaii on March 22nd and 24th. According to a June 14, 2016 warning letter, the company revised HACCP plan for its tuna intended for raw consumption was inadequate to control for significant hazards of histamine formation and pathogens. FDA recommended that the company hold raw products at a cooler temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, and also factor in the time the products spend during transit in refrigerated storage and in refrigerated and unrefrigerated processing. Alternatively, if the products are stored under ice, the product must be completely and continuously surrounded by ice throughout the storage time. MGM Cattle Company Ltd. On May 27th, FDA sent a warning letter to MGM Cattle Company Ltd. of Loch Goma County, Caravan, Ireland, regarding its cattle operation in Kingsbury, Texas, which was inspected on February 4th, 5th, 9th, and 11th. According to the warning letter, the company sold a heifer on or about November 17, 2015 for slaughter as food. Analysis of tissue samples collected from the animal showed 0.632 parts per million of fungicin, I guess it is, residue in the liver tissue, FDA stated, while the agency tolerance is 0.125. So it was like 5 times the amount for residents of influxin in the liver of cattle. uh, Flunixin, 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 I guess I'm pronouncing that right, is a non-steroidal and anti-inflammatory drug that also reduces fever and pain. FDA also noted in the letter that the company did not maintain complete treatment records for its animals, including route of administration for each drug and the individual providing the treatment. The agency found a written response from the company dated March 1st to be inadequate. It included a revised treatment record differentiating between the intramuscular and intravenous administration administration according to the warning letter. However, your firm also uses drugs which require subcutaneous and oral routes of administration. Your failure to recognize this as part of your response further brings into question the inadequacy of the retraining and that was provided to your cowboys on using the correct route of administration. The FDA stated. Of these warning letters have 15 working days from receipt to outline specific steps they have taken to come into compliance with the law.
Now that doesn't say which companies, is involved, right?
Yeah, it did. Named off every one of them. Valley Processing Incorporated was the first one with the juice.
Yeah, but I mean,
the
companies like they sell to the product, right?
No, it didn't tell who they sell the product to.
Right.
I mean, there hasn't been a recall on any of this stuff. So basically, you'd have to look at the packaging. If you're buying juice, see if it's coming from Valley Processing in Washington State, or if you're buying seafood, you'd have to check and see if it came from this Susian company or this Adriatic, Adriatic seafood. If you're buying any of that stuff. The MGM Cattle Company was the one with the beef.
Right. Huh.
The beef might be a little bit harder to see because if you're buying fresh beef in the store, it doesn't tell where it came from on the package.
That's just something to be to have heads up on that. For you guys that are or anybody that lives in California, I think it was. I don't even know how to pronounce that word.
Meningococcal.
Is that like meningitis?
Yeah. Meningococcal outbreak in Los Angeles and Orange counties triggers health warning. The rare disease was first identified in May, and since then, 9 men in Los Angeles and Orange counties have fallen ill with meningococcal infection, according to Dr. Karen Smith, public health officer for the California Department of Public Health. Most of the men were gay or bisexual. One of them has died from the infection. We are concerned that gay and bisexual men in Southern California may be at an increased risk for meningococcal disease, Smith said in a statement. She urged men who have sex with other men to get meningitis vaccination. HIV-infected people, she said, have an increased risk of getting sick from meningococcal disease. The U.S. Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices recommended this week that all HIV patients routinely receive meningococcal vaccines. Michael Weinstein, president of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, called on public health officials to increase the supply of vaccines and work closely with community health organizations to spread awareness. The foundation is working to maintain the vaccines available at Southern California area wellness centers next week, he said. Gay men are extremely overrepresented in these meningitis case numbers in Los Angeles, Weinstein said in a statement. The CDC and the NIH, in conjunction with the local health departments, should really be studying the issue far more intensively. The rare infection is caused by the bacteria Neisseria meningitidis, which affects the bloodstream and can lead to meningitis. At least 6 cases were caused by a particular strain of Meningococcal bacteria. Say the most read stories this hour. There's a link to click on that, and I will be putting the link to these articles in the description. Meningococcal disease spreads by close exposure to sneezing or coughing or direct contact with saliva or nose mucus, the health department said. Symptoms usually begin with a few days of exposure and include fever, vomiting, severe headache, stiff neck, confusion, a rash, and muscle pain. Smoking, having close contact with an infected person, such as kissing or sharing beverage or cigarettes, and living in group settings for prolonged periods are associated with an increased risk of illness. Outbreak and cluster serogroup C meningococcal disease have been reported in New York City, Los Angeles County, and Chicago since 2014.
That's just more stuff people have to worry about, you know. So all you need is to be around somebody that's coughing and sneezing, I guess. I don't know.
Well, coughing, sneezing, throwing up, having headaches, you know, they'll be damn sick. Unless they're just in the very beginning stages, though, I think it'd be pretty, you know, obvious that, hey, this person is sick. I get around people like that, I say, okay, you let me know when you feel better.
Yeah, right. That's just the health issues, guys, that we're just touching on with the FDA and the warnings and the advisories or whatever they're putting out about that. I'm just gonna say meningitis because I have no idea what the hell that word means. If anybody, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it.
Oh, it's been so long since I took medical terminology that, you know, I used to be able to tell you what all that stuff meant, but I don't know. I mean, meningococcal is a germ that causes meningitis. I mean, you know, in basic layman terms, that's what it is. But yeah, what they're saying is you get around people that's got meningitis, and it's a contagious thing that they can spread to you. So that's how it's beginning to spread around, and apparently it is prevalent in the gay community.
I guess. But on a lighter note here, I'm going to put this in the chat room. People are going to get a kick out of it because me and Brenda sure did. And Brenda, you should be seeing it. Michigan Church gives us the day our daily weed.
Now there's a church I can get behind. Oh, yes. A pastor at the First Cannabis Church of Logic and Reason in Lansing wants to remove stigma from marijuana use. It's about time. Lansing, Michigan, a non-denominational Michigan cannabis church seeking to combat stigma associated with marijuana use, had its inaugural service on Sunday. The Lansing State Journal reports that the First Cannabis Church of Logic and Reason, hey, now they're talking our language, right? Would be holding its first service at the Lansing Herbal Farmers Market. Man, we need one of them here.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Michigan approved marijuana. They approved it for medical, right? That's what I'm reading.
Well, here. I don't know. I don't know what they did up there.
It said Michigan voters approved marijuana use for some chronic medical condition in 2008. So I'm lost here with the church thing.
Well, now let's read on down through here and see. You know, maybe all these people at this church are sick. Hall said he wants to have weekly services and provide space where people can be spiritual but also feel safe to take any of their medications. See? Take their medications. According to Hall, marijuana can be part of a religious experience because it can help those in pain and create a sense of belonging. Oh, Pat, I feel being sick coming on. If they also feel cannabis is part of their spirituality, they can combine the two in a safe environment. Hall encourages medical marijuana users and non-users to visit the place of worship. He expected about 40 people to show up to the first service. According to Hall, Lansing is the perfect place for the church service. It has shown support for medical marijuana and it has shown support for medical marijuana use and dispensaries. In 2013, voters in Lansing passed a city charter amendment that says nothing in the city's code of ordinances applies to use, possession, or transfer of less than 1 ounce of marijuana on private person who is at least 21. Since the service would be held on private property, Hall did not expect any problems or abuse of city rules and regulations. I wonder how I start my own branch.
I don't know.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What the audience don't know is Pat and I was talking a while ago, and I told him that I know how we can solve this country's economic situation here. First of all, we get rid of the BLM and all, the ABC, whatever it is, XYZs, that are land grabbing and taking all of our land and selling it off to foreign entities, and we put it back in the hands of the farmers. And we put all the farmers to raising pot because it's good for clothing. You can make rope out of it. You can smoke it. You can cook with it. It would be our #1 export of this country. The government can put some tax on it instead of just trying to get a whole lot of money out of a few people in a few states for this medical marijuana farming stuff. Let everybody raise it.
Mm-hmm.
And they can put tariffs on our imports. We'll be doing trading for the pot and the goods that we make out of it. I mean, clothing is made out of hemp, ropes made out of hemp. And farming was the backbone of America at one time. That's what this country was founded on. So, hey, instead of them sitting around in Washington, D.C. trying to figure out how in the hell they're going to keep making money when they made the majority of people in this country unemployed and sucking up the welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make everybody happy. Everybody will be happy if we start raising pot.
Well, didn't Colorado's state revenue has doubled since they legalized it, right? If I read that.
I don't know. I have not heard anything out of California.
Not California.
Out there.
No, not California. Colorado.
Oh, Colorado. I don't know.
I think their revenue went up. I'm not sure.
Maybe somebody in the chat room knows something about it. Type it in there.
But I think there was somewhere where I read that their state revenue, has gone up for the tax on the marijuana. But I don't know what the sales tax is on it. Is it 5%, 10%? I don't know.
I don't know. But I know that Jeremy and we're on the same page because he says in the chat room, WWJR. What would Jesus roll? See, I think that the church people would be happy.
Uh-huh.
The overeaters would be happy.
Right. Now, is this a publicity stunt to get people to come in there? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel an illness coming on right now, I mean.
I don't know.
If this is the way, you get your medical marijuana, hey, I'm all for it. Kudos to this guy. He's come up with a wonderful idea.
Right. Let's see how much attention is going to be brought to that now.
Well, I don't think it'll get as much attention as they came up with recently as that satanic bunch, that tried to get the satanic rituals and stuff going everywhere. And they was kind of, as far as I know, they were kind of run out on a rail. But,
right.
Hopefully this guy keeps going and this catches on because I like this idea.
And then you got here's another one that, man, there's a lot of stuff happening in Michigan.
You're breaking up.
I said
Something
there's
going on in Michigan.
a lot of stuff is happening in Michigan. There you go, Brenda. Can you see that?
Let me get back to where you are.
Michigan
Yeah.
woman sues for. I'm not going to play the video.
How does she know it's hers?
So
Read the headline on
a doctor. Huh?
Read the headline on that.
Hold on. Let me.
Woman sues for wrongful conception.
Yeah, after doctor said she could. Wow.
I know. I've often looked at women with screaming kids in the shopping carts at the store and ask them, "Are you sure that one's yours?"
Yeah, there's.
Because if it'd been mine, I'd have disowned it. But hey.
You guys want to go look at it? You guys go check it out. I'm not even gonna touch that one. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't touch that one. I'm sorry. The other thing I like to just touch upon this morning too is what's going on in West Virginia with the flooding with the residents and the death toll has gone up. I believe. Let me check. I'm not going to post that because I'll probably get a copyright on this damn thing. 25 people dead in the flooding.
I've seen the pictures of that, and that is devastating out there what them people are going through.
Right. My hearts go out to them.
You got no water where you are, and they got way too much.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I saw a video on one of the news outlets where a house was actually burning, floating down the river. So, but I'm not gonna post any of the videos. I did post a link in the chat room if you guys wanted to check it out. What else was there? A lot happened this weekend. In Sacramento, violence between white nationalists and counter protesters leave 10 injured. I guess it's skinheads. I don't know. Did you know anything about that, Brenda?
No.
They just I caught it a little bit. Hold on, let me see if I can get this up here. It's a blank page. Come on, open up. There we go. Let's see if I can. Yep, there. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. What the hell? There's no. I don't see who. Let's see if I can get it. They're probably going to show a damn advertisement too, right?
Probably, since you decided to share it.
Yep, there you go. They were actually hitting people. I saw one guy get hit up in the back of the head with a 2x4.
Now that's a little rough, ain't it?
Yup. So I don't know, you know.
They are dangerous and they need to be stopped, and that's how we mobilize this action to shut them down. We have the right to defend ourselves.
Look, there it is. Well, what do you think?
I think it got a little rough.
Huh?
I think it got a little rough. And, you know, the thing that is kind of traveling around in my mind, you know, we have fellas that did a peaceful protest in prison in Oregon that are still awaiting trial. And how much you want to bet that any of the people that they arrested at that deal bailed out?
I'm speechless. I'm just, you know, that is hate. That there is hate.
Yeah.
And
See, I'm betting that whoever they got arrested at that deal, that they're probably already bailed out, and if not, they'll be bailed out within the next couple of days here. They won't be spending, you know, months on end at the jail.
right.
But we had peaceful protesters in Oregon, and all they wanted to do was explain the Constitution to people who were being taken advantage of by the government, and they're still in prison, still awaiting trial, can't even get bail.
I think I found it. I think I found it. The one I was telling you about. Hold on. Give me a second, guys, because this one will blow your mind. It blew mine. And let me pull it up and share. Do you see that one?
Watch Muslim woman, or watch Muslim woman threatens to bomb America outside LAX, then walks right in.
Just give me a second. I want to see if. Oh, there it is. This is on YouTube.
Tony Bear at LAX. A Muslim woman today came into LAX raising hell, making all kind of terrorist threats, saying America will be bombed, America's no good, we're gonna die.
Just listen to this.
It was terrible. It cost me least the first time, but then she came back 2 hours later.
The audio is real low.
Now the FBI.
I don't know how to turn the.
Investigation on this woman, and she was arrested. Here's the video.
I know it's on here where they were. Let me see if I can fast forward it. Why won't it let me fast forward?
There's no fast forward button.
Can you hear that at all, you guys in the chat room?
No, I can't hear it.
I don't know why.
Yeah, they can't hear it in the chat room either.
All right, just give me a second. I don't know what I did wrong. Let me get back. I want to let me get back. There we go. You guys, if you want to see it, because I'm not sure, but she was MF in America, that America's a racist country, and they're coming to take over America, F America, threatening to bomb. But from the first reports was the cops were there, they talked to her, they released her, and then the cops came back after she started doing the bomb threat. And the article is on Town Hall. So that's where I found it. And it's on YouTube, and it's been all over Facebook. So
Well, you know, I've got an answer for her. I think that what we need to do is we need to find a flight that is going over to one of those Muslim countries, and we need to put an air marshal on escorting her over there, or send her with the military. You know, we got enough military people going over there. Put her on a military plane with a bunch of Marines or something. And nothing but the clothes on her back, because why, her people love her. They'll take care of her when she gets there. And just take her over there and just set her out. Here you go. You like it over here so good. You don't like America. We don't like you in America. So goodbye. Bye-bye, Felicia.
Well, I guess people are getting mad because the cops made her take off that whatever, burqa, whatever the hell you call it, so they could take a picture of her face. And I don't know. You know, they're going to do something stupid saying that their rights were violated or something or another.
Well, see, if I was running the show, there would be no rights violated, because I'd be doing her a big service. She doesn't like it in America, then she gets a one-way ticket out of here.
There's another article too that I read, and I'm looking for it now. There's a place in Colorado, a small farm town, where some of these refugees that have been settled there want to build a mosque, and the people are up in arms over it, saying it ain't going to happen in their town. So there's a fight going on there about they want to put a mosque up, and who knows. But there's just so much things that, you know, a lot of craziness happened over the weekend. And then
I don't know if it is the heat. I don't know if it is the state of the world. You know, because I've sat around just trying to figure out what in the world is making everybody nuts. And it's not just, you know, it seems to be sporadicness. It's going on everywhere. Everywhere you look is just crazy crap. Whether it's some stuff on the internet, or whether it's news stuff, or political stuff, or stuff in your neighborhood, or in your state, or you know, it's crazy every place. People have lost their damn minds.
Oh yeah. Here's another one that I found, and this is, I guess, whoever Link, and you said Jim lives in Oregon too, right?
Yep, Jim's out there in Oregon.
Well, there you go. Oregon mom kills stranger who snuck into her child's bedroom. You see that one?
Yep, I sure do.
Yep. After finding a stranger in her child's bedroom, an Oregon mother opened fire and killing the intruder early Sunday morning. Good.
Yep.
The mother had been out with her two children, 5 and 10, when she came home. Well, scroll up here so I can read this thing. She came home and spotted the creep in one of her kids' bedrooms. Already armed with a handgun, she shot and killed the 59-year-old man hiding in her child's room.
I bet he don't do that again.
I bet you I don't feel sorry for him.
That's right. He should have been at the Church of Cannabis instead in that kid's room.
It's crazy that what's going on, you know? I mean, oh man.
Yep, I'm gonna start the first Church of Cannabis branch, and I've got to
Wow.
learn to say hallelujah in 15 syllables.
Oh, you know, and then they had another one in Pennsylvania. A man kills his girlfriend with a crossbow.
Well, they take his guns away from him.
Who knows?
Now we're going to outlaw crossbows.
Uh-huh.
I tell you what, I'm real worried about when they start declaring war on overweight people and start banning forks. I'm going to be in trouble.
It's just crazy. It's just ludicrous what's going on. You know, our economy's going to shit. The divisions in this country is getting bigger. You know, it's disgusting on what's actually happening to our country. Just totally disgusting. You know, and that's the only part of the story. I don't see anything else on that story in the Oregon with the mother. Excuse me. You know, she had every right to put a bullet in his ass. You know, that's just my opinion. She had every right.
Yep.
You know,
More of that needs to go on. I mean, you know, you hear kids getting snatched out of their rooms when they're sleeping, and you know, somebody come in through an open window or something in the middle of the night. You hear about all kinds of stuff. You know, people will spy on folks that have baby monitors in their house. They can get the frequency on their scanner or on another monitor or something. They'll go to spying on you and listen to everything that goes on in your house through a baby monitor, and go to stalking you and take the kids and, you know, or rape the woman of the house because they know she went out to jog, or, you know, Lord knows what. I mean, people, if they would spend half of their time, just half of their time, trying to do something productive instead of trying to figure out how to cause meanness and hate, this would be a much better world to live in. I don't understand why everything seems to just be going downhill so bad that if it's the way people are raised, or the environment that they're in, or if it's that everything's so depressing with the government and the state of this nation. But things have just gone straight to hell in the last 30 years, maybe even, you know, way longer than that. I don't get it.
Well, our country's in a decline right now, and
it's going to be an even more of a decline now that the Brexit went through.
I don't know.
Stocks were falling like a rock this morning.
Right. I don't know where they're at right now. You know, I can see their point, you know, taking their country back, and I don't know. I'm still reading more on the Braxton thing. Some say it was because of the immigration. Some said they just wanted to get away from the establishment and, you know, take their country back. It
was planned. The whole thing was planned.
You know, I'm at a loss. I'm gonna read more on it so I can better understand it.
It's all part of the New World Order, Pat. It's part of the plan. They're creating the chaos there, and then they're going to crash everything to hell in a handbasket and make people beg for the New World Order to take effect.
Mhm.
This is all planned. It's all part of that 7-year cycle stuff. This is the 7th year of the 7th cycle, and it is the Jubilee year. So this is the year that everything is due to crash all over the world.
Mhm.
And the New World Order knows it, and that's why they have set everything up the way they have, so that they can get everybody saying, oh, well, you know, we really need you. We really want you to come and save us. Anything to make this pain go away. You know, when there's no money anymore, when there's no food anymore, I mean, it's already gone on down in Venezuela. Look at those poor people down there.
Right. It's just crazy stuff. Another one that came out this morning on CIA weapons for Syrian rebels sold on black market. So they took the weapons and they sold them off, or got stolen and sold off. So there's a scandal coming there next. That's from the New York Post. I don't know if I'm allowed to share those from them guys or not. Treasury Secretary reminds the Senate it has 4 days before Puerto Rico defaults on more debt. That's interesting.
Yep.
How much is that going to affect our economy?
Well, there you go. I mean, they're part of us, so it's just taking us down a little bit further. I've been watching silver go up this morning.
Right.
You know, silver goes up, stock market goes down. And I mean, I can't say it any more than I've already said it. If you're not prepared, you better be getting prepared. If you don't have food laid in, you better lay in food. If you don't have water laid in, you better lay in water. And whatever it is that you think you're going to need for at least a year, maybe 2, as much of it as you can afford to get, you better be getting. And if you've got money in the bank, you better be thinking about getting the hell out of there. And if you've got very much money in the bank, you know, besides buying your food and your supplies with, whatever extra you got, instead of leaving it laying in a savings account for the bank to grab when they close down, put that money in silver, tangible silver that you hold in your hand. And that way you've protected your investment. Why let the government have it? Don't they get enough with taxes?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting to see what happens there, because it's $2 million, or I just put the link in the chat room. If everybody wants to go check it out, with Puerto Rico not making their payment, and I guess they're going to go in default. There's another one. Another one. There you go. There's another one in there. That one is on the CIA weapons for Syrian rebels were sold on the black market. Getting depressing on these news articles. Very depressing.
And it's not going to get any better for a long time. I've been saying, if you ever wondered what the good old days were, they're now. These are the good old days right now, because it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And if you are fortunate enough to have enough determination and enough enthusiasm, passion, and some skill that you can make it through the next, well, I'm going to say 2 to 5 years and come out on the other side of this still alive, you'll realize, you think back to the end of June, the middle of the year, end of June of 2016, when I sat here and told you that these were the good old days, because ain't nothing going to be the same as it is right now when this all blows through.
Right. Well, guys, it's Monday. It's coming to an end for us. I just want to thank everybody that has joined us and in the chat room. Links, Jimmy, Jay, Alex, Christian. I guess I said it right. Jeremy, I want to thank all you guys. I do appreciate it. And just have yourself a blessed Monday. Enjoy it. And be safe. Brenda, take us out.
Well, I'll thank everybody for joining us in the chat room today, and hope y'all come back to the show tomorrow. Bring your friends, like and share the video, even if you didn't like it. Even if you don't want to share it, do it anyway. We really appreciate you being in there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.